Cool.
All right, everybody. Good afternoon. It's Randy Byrd for the weekly coaching call where I call you out on your shit. Just kidding. Let's jump right in. This market is an opportunity market. It's also a disciplinary market, right? It's going to discipline those that don't discipline themselves. So let's talk numbers. Let's talk brass tacks today if you're willing to play at a high level. How many contacts did you make last week? Anybody know their numbers? And if you don't, you can guess to the best of your recollection.
20, 30.
You made 20 or 30 contacts last week?
Easy.
Oh, that's good. Good for you. What's the sentiment of who you call them, buyers, sellers, both?
Both. Just
what's the sentiment of the buyers and sellers on the calls right now?
kind of people dragging their feet. Yeah.
Why are they dragging their feet though?
I don't know. It's just I've had my clients coming down with the price and they're dragging their feet, and now they're like, oh, I probably should have dropped it sooner. I'm like, hello, we had this conversation.
Yeah.
And
what I'm hearing is we have to be professionals more than ever, right? We have to be the guide to our clients, and we can't be in a place of fear or lack that we're going to lose the listing or whatever by not being straight with them. But it is a cost of doing business that is, needs to be recovered as well. So we have a role to price it correctly, but then we also have a role to guide our customers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
What we're seeing is still critically low inventory, right? Very, very low inventory. And just because you throw a house on the market doesn't mean it sells right away. It's just the buyers and sellers are kind of locked up. Sellers don't have anywhere to go, so they're not listing. So we have low inventory. The buyers are fighting the higher interest rates, inflation, everything else. So they've got less buying power, significantly less buying power. It's interesting. The buying power has changed significantly, but so is the income. So now they have less buying power and they need more income to qualify. So you could, take a $500,000 house. You could get into that house if you made about $68,000 a year ago. Now it's like $109,000 a year. That's a big jump. So it's 40 grand a year jump just to afford the same house because of rates, right? That's what's significant. So people still need to buy, people still need to sell, correct?
That's correct.
We're not going to change that. So how are you getting past those conversations?
So I'm just reiterating what we spoke about when we put it on the market. And some people want to hear it. Some people don't want to hear it and drag their feet. Well, let's give it till the weekend. I'm like, yeah, no, we're on 2 weeks. We need to do it now. After the weekend. Okay. And then they're dragging. And
yeah. So may I coach you a little bit, Lee?
Yes.
You know me well enough. If you set your expectation correctly, differently at the beginning of the listing presentation, you won't even have to have those conversations. What I mean by that is this is a market that we could say, hey, we're going into this with our best intentions, right? We're inning into this marketing strategy and day one on the market with our best intentions, and we're anticipating seeing results. But if we don't have them, we've got to put a forward thing in place that says what we're going to do, right? You could lay out your listing presentation period for them by saying, for instance, we're going to start at 500,000. We're going to put our best foot forward. It's going to take us probably 2 to 3 weeks to have everything fully up to speed. Some things happen immediately. Some things take time, but we're going to get a lot of feedback and we're going to be up to speed in about 3 weeks. We'll be able to identify then if we're off in price, and we can have an A or B. Hey, if we've had lots of showings, but no offers, we're off maybe only 3 to 5%, but we need to reduce it at that point. And if we've had no showings, it's very, very low showings, no open house traffic, and no offers, then we missed it by 5 to 7%. We'll adjust it accordingly. Right? Nice. You can have those conversations in advance, so you're not chasing them down the road feeling desperate because you listed it with all this enthusiasm, and then 2 weeks later you're like, yeah, we got to lower the price. That's when we're going to get in challenges with our people.
Yeah, we had the conversation. We are going to lower it in 2 weeks, and 2 weeks came and he was backpedaling and backpedaling. His tune, we've had 2 price drops so far, and we were at 547 and some change. Now we're at 514.
That's a good adjustment.
And the Zillow estimate or whatever that is brought it down. When we did the price drop, the second price drop, dropped it down to 508 and some change.
Interesting. Yeah, Zillow is adjusting based on the market right now. I mean,
Yep.
based on what we're putting things on the market for.
And that's where we're heading, right there, 500, 508,
Okay.
next price drop. And you got to be aggressive if you want to sell it. And he does have 2 other places to go to. So
Yeah,
that's,
you want to be the bride, not the bridesmaid in this market, right? Because there's just not enough sales happening to compensate for that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've had 2 promises. Well, it's either this house or this house my people are going to buy. And I've had 2 realtors that have said it's between this house and this house. And then the next one, it's either your house or this house. And none of them have pulled the trigger yet on any of it.
Yeah. And again, if you had 40 listings, it wouldn't be so obvious. It wouldn't be so painful.
Yep.
Right. So list inventory creates a lot of opportunities.
Yeah.
I dig it. I like the spirited dialogue. What's your connection contact with your clients right now, buyers and sellers? How often are you contacting them if there's nothing to talk about?
So I need to hit ones that I've had soft conversations. I'm back and forth with them, and then the other ones I need to just hit the list and hit it hard. I've got 100 on my hot sheet mailing list, and so I just got to start at the opposite end and start running through those people and do the call. I'm going through several of them and taking them out to dinner and having conversation. So I'm more on referral right now. I'm not paying realtors, Zillow, set schedule, referral. And
yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's the book of business is the book of business, right? Though, if you're used to doing 12 deals and the market's off 40%, then that's going to be 5 to 6 transactions off.
Yeah.
So we have to make up that somewhere. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be in lead spend, but it's got to be in sweat equity or check equity.
Yeah. Most of my people are cash customers, and they're even slowed down. Just because they don't want to sell in this market. They don't have to sell, but
yeah, that's what we just talked about. Yep. They don't have to sell.
Yeah.
And then replacement properties. Kenny, what about you?
Right now, actually, I have 4 listings right now.
Okay.
One's actually live on the MLS. The other 3 we're getting ready. As far as my contact with them, I leave it up to them. When we talk originally, I say, "What are your expectations to hear from me?" I have one guy who wants to hear from me every day. We talk every day, and then the other ones that say, "Let's just talk once a week." We have it set up for Monday. I talk to them all today. As far as prospecting goes, what I've been doing is really trying to farm the distressed properties in my area. I pulled basically NODs. I'm pulling those off of Property Radar. I'm sending in handwritten cards to them first. And it's creating like a warm lead. So when I call them, I call them up, say, "Hey, just want to make sure you got my card. How'd you do in that lottery ticket I sent you?" Usually put a scratcher in there for them.
Oh, nice.
That loosens the conversation up a little bit. And I've got that's one of mine right now. I've got a couple people still thinking about it. Also having the city of Galt pull me the 0 water consumption houses, water shutoffs, and code enforcement violations. I'm doing the same thing with them.
Awesome. Are you partnered with somebody that might be able to do seller financing, creative financing, and buy those properties specifically?
I have basically, I'm looking for those where, the Sergey Kucher group. He's actually done some of the Atomic
Sounds
Habits.
familiar, but are
Yeah,
they
he
in
did
the
Atomic
market?
Habits a while back. I'm looking for those guys and I have a
Yeah.
contact over there.
I was going to say that if you're working that list, that's a big opportunity for you to have that person,
Right.
maybe even a few of them, right? And so you can say, hot deal, we got this, we're approved at this price. You could do servicing agreements or some kind of thing like that as well. But those people need cash offers, they need fast offers, and sometimes they work.
Yep. I got two of those guys. They're on my whiteboard right there. Two of my investors.
Cool.
I just need more.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool. Patrick, what about you, bud? And I have something to bring me back, Kenny, to your expectation call. I have some input for you too.
I have, my contacts last week were 19 down
Okay.
for usually
19 contacts, not dials,
Contacts.
right?
contacts. Yeah. So,
You know what your dial, the contact ratio is?
I don't, because I'll throw this stuff into a dialer. It's all internet leads driven from organic internet traffic that I have on my website over the years. So I've got a database of thousands of people in there.
Right. Okay.
Typically I dial through on anybody that's looking at property and whether I've connected or not.
So 19 contacts last week.
Correct.
What's your goal?
The goal, I'm pushing it. The contacts are less important to me than just getting on the phones for 2 hours a day. And so I'm
I work both directions. I have more success when I establish a goal.
Yeah.
Like my goal is 225 contacts by January 31st. And so daily it's 22 contacts a day.
Yeah.
Right. That's just that's what I said that's my standard. So I'm always looking at that the appointments come through contacts if you're going through the motions, right? So what you're talking about, say just blocking 2 hours a day doing the activity, things will work. That's true. But when you're laser focused on a specific outcome being the contact, not the appointment, because you can't control that, you'll get too much commission breath.
Yeah.
But if the contact is the win, then you could just have fun with the conversation and let it go where it's going to go.
Yeah.
That's what works for
me.
me.
Do you find that sometimes I start subconsciously counting the contact as the win too much because I do want the appointment?
Yeah.
If my goal is contacts. And so this year, my main focus has been trying to really focus more on getting appointments. Because when I first got on the Dial for Dollars about this time last year, when we were still running it, it was clear to me that everybody else was closing on way more appointments than I was for the same number of conversations.
Yeah.
So my appointment ratio has gone way up this year. I wish the sales matched it, but we're sailing into the wind this year.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've actually had a lot of luck lately. Last year, Dawn was really pushing the whole assumable thing. And I created some content around that on the website, and it's driven a lot of traffic. I've yet to close it, but in the last 3 weeks, I've went on 3 separate appointments with vets to go look at properties that are possibly assumable.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean on that a bit to see if I can generate some listing business out of it too.
Cool.
And so we'll just see where that goes. But it's interesting because they're on the other end of it. We were just talking about sellers that are reluctant to sell, to do what they need to do at the price.
Yeah.
But I find with these assumable buyers is that it's a limited inventory of properties that can be assumed.
Yep.
But they still want to search them like they've got leverage and like they can negotiate, and that they're going to be able to pick just the right one. And I'm having to educate them and say, look, we've got literally 15 houses listed for sale that are possible.
Yeah.
And 3 of those have equity positions that make sense for the amount you have to put down. So the question is which one and how much more than they're asking do you want to offer them so that you can make them wait for 3 to 4 months?
Right.
House, and it kind of kills the
company. Yeah, but that's what you have to do, or else you'll be spending nothing.
My wheels forever.
Yeah, and there's a fine line between making the client feel like they're not valuable and important, and you being a pro.
Yeah.
Right. You being a pro and negotiating, say, I know this is going to sound insensitive, not meant to be. I'm a pro. I know what needs to be done in this. If you find that to be attractive, then we're a good fit. If you don't believe me, then we're not a good fit.
Well, the way I point it to him is I recognize that it's odd to you that you can't negotiate a discount from their asking price right now. But I want you to look at what the cost of this loan is going to be over your lifetime. Yeah. And what you're getting by assuming. So if you're really I think that hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yeah. And maybe it's not off the seller's back, but you're getting it one way or the other.
That's the smart way. Here's what I've been having conversations with people like on assumable, especially in mini storage, mobile home park, anything larger, is it's like I can get you a pre-COVID price if you give me a pre-COVID interest rate.
Yep.
Right. So a seller carry, we'll
Yep.
get you your pre-COVID price because things have come down a lot now, but we need a pre-COVID interest rate. Are you willing to mix those? Right? Are you willing to do that?
They think they're going to get both, and I'm just like, hey, it's not.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like, write that down. That's a good one. And you could do that in your normal buyers. Hey, it sounds like what you're looking for is a pre-COVID price and a pre-COVID interest rate. And those things don't exist anymore. So where are you willing to give the most in? Do you want me to really focus on a buy down rate? And then maybe we go to new construction because that could be a 4.9. Or do you really want me to focus on, the price point that you need to be at or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Right. There's only so much date the rate, marry the house we can have conversations with. I mean,
that could backfire too, because who the hell really knows where the rates are, what they're going to do. So
yeah, it's true, but I don't think so. I don't think it's a risky thing. The rates could continue to go up. Every indicator out there says no, but the point is when you say date the rate, marry the house, you're not saying we're dating for a year. You're just saying you're dating, right? But the house is forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they can take it back.
And so I agree with that strategy. Plus the people that took a chance 6 months ago and have even an 8% rate, they've got equity built up now. That 2-3% of equity is usually going to be outpacing that rate. I love the conversation. I want to get back to Kenny. This is what I do. You don't have to do it, right? 20 years, I've perfected a few things that have worked very well, and that's all I focus on. And I've tried to take the things that clients push back on. When I take the listing, I tell them that I'm going to contact you every Friday AM. So prior to noon on Friday, I will call you and I will physically tell you what's going on and what we've done over the last week. Everything that's going on, you'll get a full update. And then I will do that every Friday. If we have something immediate, as in an offer came in, or there's some need at the house that, obviously I'll call you immediately upon those things. You're welcome to call me anytime as a customer, but just know that you can bank on me calling you every Friday. And they do not call me during the week. Hardly ever. And because they know that the call is coming on Friday. What happens is we don't give that parameter to people and they start feeling itchy throughout the week. And then even if you do call Friday and it's been all week, they're still a little crabby. Right. My clients love it when I call. They're like, oh my God, you're so good. You call every Friday. It's like setting the expectation in a relationship or anything else, right? You're on the same page. In the absence of communication, stories get created, upsets occur, right? So this has been really powerful for me. And what day of the week do I call?
Friday AM.
Friday. Why?
End of the week, before the week.
I've never met anybody that's not happier on Friday than Monday, ever.
That's true.
So on Monday, they're heading back to work. They might be just bitter. They might football game might have lost on Sunday night like me. Whatever it is, right? Friday is a happier day that I found over my career, and I've tried it. We've done so many different things over the years. Friday morning is a breeze. People are happy. People are at the end of the week. You're updating, telling what you're going to do for the weekend, what went on throughout the week. It's a great opportunity. So something to consider.
Perfect.
Awesome. We got some other people here. Sonia, Melissa, Michael, any questions for you guys? This is really about you. This is I usually go on my own agenda for the first 15, then I'll go into Q&A until you guys don't have any.
No, I'm good.
All right.
I have
Awesome.
A lot of things on my mind, but nothing that I can relate.
Sorry, Sonia, I didn't hear that.
Huh?
I couldn't hear you, Sonia. I'm sorry.
I don't know what's going on. This happened last week too.
Does she sound like she's in a can or something?
Glass. Yep.
I didn't say can bathroom. I meant can.
Well, I'll just give it up. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Can you guys understand what she's saying?
Barely.
Yeah, we're struggling hearing you. No, sorry. Any other questions? You guys have anything?
So have you heard interest rate timing on when it's supposed to drop?
Do you think I work for the government or something, Wilson? Lee, if I had that information, I wouldn't be on this call with you as much as I like you.
So I've heard second quarter down to 6. I
Yeah,
didn't
but
know.
you can't say that. I don't ever want you uttering those words out of your mouth unless it's something that's really coming from a reliable source, because that is the kind of thing that's going to give us challenges.
Yeah.
Would I not love it? 100% I'd love it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I don't think they're going to bring them down fast. They're going to bring them down super slow but consistent, because if they bring them down fast, it's going to flood the market and we're going to have another major appreciation issue. We're going to have a big appreciation spike. If they made rates 6% today, there'd be no inventory, right? It wouldn't be a lag long enough for the sellers to start selling and all these other things to start happening. And, we'd all be happy realtors. We'd be busy again.
I feel like that's the guarantee they're gonna do it that way, because they seem absolutely they have to screw something up.
It seems like it at times.
They're just so ham-handed with the whole process that I don't
it seems like it at sometimes, but I'm going to give you this thing again. I have this thing that I use called Mortgage News Daily, and it's really cool. It just tracks rates. They were up over 8%. Now they're at 7.38 nationally. Obviously, you can find them locally a little different, but nationally, we're looking at a 30-year FHA at 6.71. So, and 30-year jumbo at 7.75, and it has arms and stuff. The VA 6.72% for a 30-year VA across the country. So those are really pretty good. We're below 7% in most areas, and 30-year fixed 7.38 nationally. So, some higher, some lower, but those are getting to be rates that the buyers are feeling a little breathing room, basically, right? And mentally, I think it's more mental, personally.
Yeah, I think it's the stability that matters. It's just if they just stay the same for a while, I'll take it.
Good job, Kenny. You've been watching my app.
Just beat you to it.
Yeah, you did. Good job. So, again, when we look at this, and Lee, if you're going to follow stuff like that, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just saying, start talking about specific reports and specific people and doing that. Because again, it's going to take out the professionalism that we are if we're not right, and then you could look like Nostradamus if you're right. But I would be cautious about that, because honestly, the government doesn't even know. It seems like everybody's clueless. They're just reactive rather than proactive.
Now is always the time to buy.
That's exactly right. 100%. All right.
Cool.
All right.
I have a question.
Yes.
Pardon me if it's not a smart question, but let's just say you did have a listing out there that might be that 2% off. Okay. And that was when rates were at 8.03, and all of a sudden, boom, they're down at 7.38. Wouldn't that kind of help level things out a little bit?
It does. Is it still for sale?
Yeah.
Now it's not level again.
Let's say it is.
Yeah. Now it's not level again. But the answer is yes, that they're all related. Sales price and rates and all these. If the rates went to 2% today, I'd be willing to pay $575 for a 525 house, right? It's just a mental thing for buyers, I believe. But the reality is we've got to be good in our sales skills and our conversation language to get them over the problem with a 7.3% rate. And it's getting better. It was 7.9, 7.7, 7.6, 7.4. Now we're 7.38 nationally. A lot of rates under 7%. Buy downs, the builders are buying them down into the fives. They're doing buy downs into 5.7s and 5.9s. Because that 10 grand that they use to buy down the rate is way better than putting in a concrete RV pad or $10,000 in upgraded carpet.
Yeah.
So that's why new home builds are really leading the market in most of our sales.
Love it. Very good.
All right. Well, good to see everybody. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody here. I appreciate you. We'll be here next week again. And, bring your friends, bring your tough questions, whatever you got. We talk about all things production. All right.
All right.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Randy.
And we'll talk to you soon. All right. Bye for now.